Hi, I'm Randy Pierson, Vice President of Life and Annuities for Gordon Marketing, and welcome to another episode of Selling Life and Annuities, where today I have my top RVP here, Paul Bechtold, and we're going to be talking about creating markets. So make sure you stay tuned. All right, Paul, so an advisor and creating their own market. What are the points that we're trying to make during this video today?
Well, I think sometimes insurance agents get in the business and all they can kind of envision is shucking policies and selling, but they don't really have a clear direction. And they're not really, they'll just sell to whoever's buying, and there's not really an intentional plan afoot as far as regular market they're going to sell to a regular demographic of people. It's just a little bit haphazard. And so as I said to you earlier, I said one of my goals in 2021 is to help agents be better salespeople this year. A little less about product, a lot more about sales skill, and help them to develop a steady market that they can depend on.
Yeah, I'm smiling to myself when you say those words, because having been in the business for 35 years and with Gordon Marketing for 11, especially in the last decade with Gordon Marketing, I tell you that I've talked to a lot of agents who, it's almost like that funny video of the dog who's chasing a squirrel, right? You can get an agent all turned on to a particular market, a selling strategy, a plan, and it seems like the following week or 2 weeks, they're calling you saying, hey, I want to do this over here instead, right? And instead of giving an appropriate level of attention, focus, education, training in that one thing that they decided on originally, right? So in creating a market, give the agents out there some real tangible advice foundational advice on what they can do to create a market.
Well, the first thing I think you want to look at is where do your interests lie, right? I mean, don't go try to sell something that your heart and your soul's not into. Okay, you got to believe in what it is you're selling, and it's got to be something that you would buy and own yourself first. I think that people can feel that. They can empathize with you a lot more when they think you believe in it, you own it, you feel it yourself. The other thing is, you want to kind of look at whatever it is you are selling and look at what are the key characteristics and features of that product or that product sale that you can kind of market around. How can you wrap around that? So for example, if I'm selling Medicare, right, I know my market is people 65 and older. I know how I'm going to have to position it just based on the age demographic of that group. Yeah. And then also, what are the product features around the Med Sup or the Advantage plan or whatever the case may be. Similarly, in the life and annuity side, we can do the same thing. Each product has its own features and characteristics that we can then kind of hitch our wagon to.
Yeah, I would agree. I hearken back to my days coming into the business, and the gentleman who recruited me into life insurance sales told me right out of the gate that the first person you need to sell to is yourself. And I think a lot of agents and advisors hear that or think that, but they don't do it, right? And I suspect the reason is they've not been adequately trained, mentored, coached, or fully understand the products. Because in my opinion, of course I'm a life insurance guy, but in my opinion, if an agent really understands the nuance, the intricacies, the value adds inherent in a good quality permanent life insurance product, I don't know why they wouldn't want to buy as much as they could possibly own, right? But back to the market issue. So let's say an agent has determined a particular market that they want to get into, and they start going down that track. How can they expand that market? How can they penetrate and grow their sales?
It's interesting you say that, because I got a call from an agent this morning, and he's kind of new. He's not where to go, and this happens a lot in the insurance businesses. They're kind of a little financially tight, things aren't, sure. and they're kind of desperate for the sale. Yeah. And the first thing I encouraged them to do is I said, man, I've got somebody that you should partner up. If you don't want to be in their downline, at least find a kind of a mentor or a sales partner to go with. It's kind of like going to the gym. Are you going to work out better when you have a workout partner to spot you and hold you accountable for holding your form and doing the proper number of reps and
Sure.
pushing you to the next level, or are you going to be better off going by yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Better off with a workout partner, right?
Yeah.
And then spin off of each other. Throw new ideas out there. Find ways to expand your market. For example, in what I do with Your Family Bank, okay, a lot of people would think, well, talking to agents or selling Medicare might not be good. Well, I would beg to differ, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to spin that agent into the ideal candidate to sell Your Family Bank, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say, first, it still works on them, right? Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't work on them, it might work on their kids. But then they got a third generation, their grandkids might be either going into or coming out of college. So I can create a market around that just by focusing on what is unique about that particular client that I could take advantage of, right?
Yeah.
It's the old saying, never let a good crisis go to waste, right?
Yeah.
Whatever your situation is, turn lemons into lemonade.
Yeah, I would agree. And certainly you've mentioned things like, honing on that market, working within specific demographics, making sure you're addressing those issues, which in my mind also speaks to one of the fundamental tools, resources, mechanisms, or methodologies that an agent would utilize to grow their client base and their market is through referrals, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, once you start helping a client in a particular area, in your case, with Your Family Bank and debt elimination, it's a lot easier for an agent to be seen in that regard. And everybody talks about, oh, you just took out a mortgage? Well, you need to talk to Paul. He can show you how to get rid of that mortgage a lot quicker, right? So listen, we're running out of time here, but anything else? Any other last points that you want to make with regards to, helping agents create that marketplace?
Just take advantage of the unique nuances that you have, that you can share, that can differentiate you from your competition and within your field, okay? Always be thinking, always be looking for another hook, another way to present it in a way that's unique in and of to you, that eliminates the competition.
Yeah, work hard to take your game to the next level, right?
Exactly.
I mean, if you're not being strategic as an agent and working hard every day to take your game to the next level, you're going to get left behind, and you're certainly not going to make the kind of money that you could make or reach your potential. So speaking of reaching your potential, if you are an agent out there and you'd like to reach your potential, make sure you reach out to myself, Randy Pierson, or Paul Bechtold here at Gord Marketing, because we're here to help you do just that. Unfortunately, we've reached our time limit for this video. I'd ask you to please be sure you click subscribe below this video and stay tuned every Tuesday for a brand new episode of Selling Life and Annuities. Have a great day and great selling. Thank you.